chaotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Of his most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch. Welcome back, guys, to a brand new episode of Jaja's Atelier. It's your girl. I told y'all I'll be back in a few days. Honey, what's been going on, everybody? It's not a whole lot going on in the world. Everything seems a little bit quiet. Oh, what's been going on with me? So listen, I am getting ready to slowly redo the atelier, aka my glam room. So I'm going through the archives, honey, and I stumble across this vintage Diane von Furstenberg kimono that I reimagined into a dress. I have not seen this dress. I have not thought about this dress. I have not worn this dress since, I believe, it's got to be like 2017. Almost 10 years ago. And honey, let me tell you something. Now that your girl is on the moans, because I wasn't on the moans until 2020. Okay? Now that your girl is on the moans, it really fits. Anyway. Let's get into the show. So listen, a little bit of fashion news for you all. One of my favorite, if not my complete favorite, designers of all time, who doesn't get talked about quite enough, the late great Azzedine ALAԻA is getting his first major U.S. retrospective, according to the legendary darling Women's Wear Daily. Opening November 21st at San Francisco's Legion of Honor, Azzedine ALAԻA Sculpting Fashion will showcase 80 of the late designer's most iconic creations alongside pieces from his private vintage collection, celebrating the craftsmanship, precision, and artistry that cemented his legacy. Now, ALAÍA, who sadly passed away on November 18, 2017, probably the same year the last time I had this dress on, was iconic, and he was really one of a kind. If you don't know who he is, his nickname was the King of Cling. All this body that you see, these dresses that is hugging the hips, darling, and hugging the tatas, darling, and the décolletage, honey. He is the creator of this. He is the innovator of the bodycon dress. One of my favorite pieces by him is this 2003 haute couture crocodile tail jacket. Now, this jacket in particular is pretty iconic because it took over 10 years to curate. Okay, between, I guess, growing the crocodile, making sure the skin was soft enough, yada, yada, yada. He also was known for, and I can't think of any other designer that does this now except for maybe Marc Jacobs. Azzedine ALAÍA never went by the calendar, honey. Never ever went by the calendar, honey. Azzedine ALAÍA said, I will debut my collection when my collection is complete to me. Thank you. And, I live for every minute of it. But perhaps my most favorite thing about the late, great Azzedine ALAÍA. Hold on a second here, my notes. I hate when they get all jumbled up like this. And I know what my favorite thing about him is because I've loved him for years, darling. I just want to make sure we're keeping on track. I only have 30 minutes. Perhaps my favorite thing about him is the love, respect, and admiration he had for Black women. His muses range from Tina Turner, Grace Jones. He dressed our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama, was a huge fan. This is her back in 2013 wearing ALAԻA. And regardless of what the people may say, honey, Michelle Obama was the first one that was recycling looks, honey, and making them fresh and new, darling. Okay? Not Kate Middleton. No, ma'am. So this is her in ALAԻA. I actually have a piece by ALAÍA, which I hold very, very dear. It's wrapped and sealed tightly away. It was my mother's dress. And I've worn it since this, but this was on my 25th birthday. Honey, the archive is just popping out all over the place, honey. But this was back in 2015. I did a birthday shoot for my birthday, and I'm wearing ALAÍA from my mom's closet. I think she got it in the late 80s or early 90s. It's a beautiful gown. So, yes. Huge congratulations to ALAÍA. It's about time. And if you haven't, you know what? You guys really enjoyed the watch with me when I was watching the Jean-Paul Gaultier show with the new creative director. So maybe I'll do that for ALAÍA. I'll pick my favorite ALAÍA collection and show, and we can watch it together. So maybe that's something I can do later on this week. You know, I am staying on top of things, honey. So on to the next story, darling. So, on to a very much anticipated, a very hot, much anticipated topic that's been in headline limbo for years now. And it's finally been answered by Oscar award-winning director Ryan Coogler. So, you know, after the death of Chadwick Boseman back in, I think it was August 2020. Wow, it's been 6 years already. Everybody's been wondering who is going to take his place as the new Black Panther. Well, during Comic-Con in San Diego, California over the weekend, Ryan Coogler put all the rumors to rest, announcing that announcing that the very handsome British actor David Johnson will be replacing Chadwick Boseman. He is very handsome. This is him in GQ magazine. So I have a snippet of him accepting the role alongside his castmates. This is a picture of him and Ryan Coogler and some of the cast. So let's take a look at the video of him accepting the role on stage at Comic-Con. Take a look at this.
I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to this amazing family that I have the honor and the privilege and the blessing.
So that's all I could find from Comic-Con. You know, those nerds, they keep it tight over there. No offense, I'm a nerd too. Sailor Moon! So, listen. Honey. Now, there are times in our community when you just can't win for losing. Okay? Because there seems to be a whole lot of backlash all across Black social media because David Johnson is not a Black American actor. So these are some tweets that the Jasmine brand collected, as well as some comments from their page. I'm going to read some of them to you. Hold on here. Coogler is making a wonderful movie for Black Brits everywhere. He really said, Black America who? Y'all enjoy Black Panther 3. He won't miss my $10. Jamel Hill jumped in the chat and said, tell me we aren't about to spend all this time complaining about the new Black Panther being British. Honey, it's just, you know what? First of all, let's cut the shit. Number one, Lupita Nyong'o is not American born. The young lady that plays, I believe her character's name is T'Challa. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she played the younger sister to Chadwick Boseman, the original Black Panther. She's not American born, I don't believe. And hello, it's called Wakanda Forever. It's not a borough in New York. For crying fucking out loud. What do you mean you're complaining? And this whole thing is like, we Black Americans over here, you Black Canadians up here, you Black Brits over here. We all Black. We all some niggas. Well, we're not niggas, but you know what I'm saying. What difference does it make? And quite honestly, he actually looks a little bit like Chadwick Boseman. He's very handsome, by the way. He's a little stacked up, too, if you know what I mean. Anyway, tune out all the noise, Mr. David Johnson. And congratulations to you. I'm sure you're going to knock it out the park. Ryan Coogler knows talent when he sees it, and that's evident in every movie that he's put out. He's an Oscar winner, for crying fucking out loud. You know we're doing everything Black now, darling. Okay. On to the next story. Oh, today's going to be a bit of a short show, honey. Okay. Where do I want to go next here? Okay. We'll go here. So, I have an update on our favorite face, the Bama Barbie herself, honey, Miss ALAIA. So, you know she was on Love Island, and she stayed in a relationship with the man that she hooked up with on Love Island. I believe they won, didn't they? I don't know. I don't watch that shit. I just love ALAIA. So she's been in a relationship with, you know, the man that she was on the show with, Mr. Nick Van Steenberg. This tall glass of milk. Let's take a look here. He looks fun. Well, after rumors have been swirling, I kind of heard rumblings about 2 weeks ago, to be honest with you. And then I've had my own suspicions, because you never hardly see them together. So after the rumors swirled a couple of weeks ago and on, Nick has broken his silence, the first to say something, typical for a man. Why do you men talk so much? Damn! So he went on to say, to the Nicolandria, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, community, the rumors are true. I didn't want to give people false hope, so I wanted to clear the air. We will continue to love each other always. It's a sensitive as well as private subject. Thank you for respecting our privacy. My thoughts? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I have not seen them together on a red carpet in God knows how long. I even forgot that she was still with the guy. Now, he is very handsome. Now, he does look like a good time around you. Now, I like this now. You know, ain't nothing wrong. Let me tell you something. Every now and then, okay, listen to mama. Every now and then, there's nothing wrong with pouring a room temperature cup of milk all over some chocolate, as long as it respects you and understands the Black plight. Nothing wrong with it. But I knew this wasn't gonna last. Listen, ALAIA is clearly the bigger star here. Now, from what I gather from his Instagram, because you know I went snooping, he is some kind of a DJ or something. He'll be fine. He could go on Road Rules, or he'll get with another girl and they'll go to marriage boot camp or something like that, and he'll continue to DJ and make a bunch of money, yada, yada, yada. But ALAIA, she doesn't need this baggage right now. Honey, she is up there with Zendaya at Fashion Week and so weak, darling. She's the queen of Nigeria, darling. She doesn't need this extra baggage right now. Who knows who she may run into, and what sparks will spark. You know what I mean? And do I think they really liked each other? I think she had a good time with him. I mean, it's a reality TV show relationship. How far did you think it was going to go? You know what I mean? Anyway, I kind of figured they were, when I saw her at the BET Awards and she didn't bring him, I kind of figured they were over then. Anyway, Alondria, Nick, you'll be fine. Don't do any more talking. No more talking. You made your statement. We don't need to hear shit else. Alondria, you released a statement saying, and I will always love you, and move on. And, who knows what the future holds, honey, because you're a spicy cup of motherfucking chocolate, honey, okay? So, yeah. Okay, so on to the last story here. Ooh, today is going to be a real quick show. Maybe 25 minutes. So, I wanted to end with this because, I find these kind of back and forths when these kind of subjects come up across Black social media, I find them really interesting. So Alabama HBCU Tuskegee University announces a new dress code banning bonnets, do-rags, and other casual attire in certain campus settings as the university's president encourages students to dress more professionally. Now, this I gathered from social media platform Being Black is Lit, which I love their stuff. They report real news, not that shit that Jason Smith is over there doing. And since I have a little time, I might get into that too. Give me a minute. So, according to Being Black is Lit, Tuskegee University in Alabama updated its student rules ahead of the 2026-27 academic year as a part of a broader push for discipline, attendance, and professional, listen to this, professional preparation, because it's going to be key to my thought. Under the dress code, students are prohibited from wearing bonnets, do-rags, bedroom slippers, and revealing clothing. Well, I ain't in school. In classrooms, dining facilities, and official university settings. It is not a total ban everywhere on campus. Of course, it can't be because the kids live on campus. Students are also being told to arrive with suitable business and formal clothing for career fairs, interviews, meetings, and university ceremonies. Tuskegee's official orientation guidance specifically asks students to bring business attire and at least 2 formal outfits. The policy has sparked debate. Supporters say an HSBCU should prepare students for professional environments, while critics argue that bonnets and do-rags have cultural significance and that policing students' appearance does not necessarily reflect their ability or academic performance. My thought is that's not what they're saying. And let me go a little deeper. So, about time when it rolled around for me to go to college, my dream school was NYU. I wanted to study fashion at NYU. I didn't want to go to a HSBCU because I always had, I always heard horror stories about the way, and at this time I wasn't trans, it wasn't all of this, I was just straight up butch queen. And I was hearing horror stories about how they treated their queer students at HSBCUs. That was back in 2006, 2007, 2008. Flash forward to 2026, things are a whole lot different in regards to queer people at HBCU campuses. I say, you know what? I watch too much Fag Talk because T.S. Madison and Craig call it a HSBCU. Now I'm saying it. A HBCU. So there's that. My brother, I have an older brother, shout out to him. He went to a HBCU. He went to Grambling State University. And I see the connections. And, you know, my friend Yanita, she went to Norfolk State. And I see the connections, the lifelong friendships that develop from HBCUs. God, my tits look great. HBCUs. And, you know, it is something that I think young black people in this country should experience. Even if you don't graduate, even if that's not the last school you go to, I think the camaraderie that you feel amongst other black kids achieving similar ambitions, goals, and dreams is very important because it takes a village. However, I also understand that these kids ain't like like we were. You know what I'm saying? They're independent. The ways of making money have changed. You don't always have to be so buttoned up and business oriented to make, you know, your first $1 million. We see I Show Speed doing streaming. We see Kai Sanat. We see Playboy Max. We see, you know, Natalie Nunn, who started off on the Bad Girls Club at, you know, 19, 20, 21, and now she's 43, and she's, you know, regardless of how trashy it is, she's, you know, basically running Zeus Network with Lumio Plumber, you know. You know, so they're seeing all of this, and they're like, well, damn, Krishan and Blueface is making money, and she got her bonnet, and she ain't got no teeth in her mouth. So, you know, I'm doing the work. I get that. But as much as going to a HSBCU is about the camaraderie and finding yourself and staying true to your blackness, going to a HSBCU is also about preparing you with social etiquette and business acumen that you will need to get into certain doors that are harder for you to get into because you are black. Also because you're coming from a HBCU. You know what I'm saying? So I hear what the kids online are saying, and for the adults that are online, the people my age, you know, 35 and up, that's saying, well, you know better than that. Don't tell those kids that, because you're setting them up for failure. You can't go to a board meeting with your fucking bonnet on. And you need to start practicing that now. It's important. It's not an attack. It's just how it is. And it's for your benefit. So that's all I wanted to say. That's today's show, you guys. That was a short show. I'll be back again later this week. You know what I mean? Ciao.